I want to react to some of my old content. So a lot of y'all don't know, but I've been in the content creator community for a minute. I was just bored in my room one day and I said, I want to make videos. I don't have money for a therapist. This is fresh out of high school, guys. I don't have money for a therapist. I'm low-key stressed. I don't have an outlet. I don't have any friends. And so I need something. Like, let me just channel this energy, right? So that's what I did. And I didn't care about monetization. I didn't care about views. I didn't care about likes. I didn't even care about subs. I literally just wanted a place to be myself and not be judged. Funny story, it actually turned into a place of judgment, which scared me away. And I just eventually stopped posting, but I didn't stop making content. So basically, I took my talents down to South Beach. I started creating content, so to speak, for other people. So I worked for churches, I've worked for small business owners, I've worked for artists, like creatives in general. I've created content for people using the knowledge that I gained when I was making content for myself. And so it was a really nice medium for me. It allowed me to still channel my creativity and my dying urge to just take whatever is in me and just push it out into the world. But it also shielded me from the judgment of just being my authentic self, because I got to help other people be themselves on social media, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hiding behind a whole other person, business, identity almost. And it worked. It paid the bills. It still pays the bills to this day. Life as a content creator it's been a thing. I said all that to say it's been a thing for a while now, and I'm still doing it to this day by the grace of God, you guys, because if you know anything about being a creative, especially one that uses their creativity to make, to live, you want to quit. It is not cupcakes and rainbows by any means. It is hard sometimes, and sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's miserable. I can go down the list of pros and cons, but I won't do that today. I just want to give you a little rundown on my creative journey so that you guys can understand a little bit more about me, and so that we can hop right into these videos. So we're gonna start with, there's this video that I made when I first started YouTube that went viral. At the time, viral was 60,000 views, and it happened overnight. So when you see the numbers, don't look at me funny. Today's analytics are crazy. Today's engagement numbers for viral, they're insane. But back then, 10 years ago, 60K views was unfathomable. It also wasn't as easy to go viral either. So the fact that it happened, I was whoa. And I was just being myself. I was literally just talking to the camera about how I had no friends, and I arguably lost some relationships in the process of just expressing myself. We're gonna actually start with that video. I think that's a good first introduction into this. I have to go in the archives because I privated everything. That's how cringe it is. Hey everyone, it's Savannah Leigh, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm just gonna go on a little rant, just a little one, about friends. I have had a bad history with friends. I mean, to be honest, I can't really say I know what a friend is. My history with friends is, and if you're watching this video and you've been a previous friend of mine, don't take this any type of way, because I'm not talking about anybody specific. My friends in the past have talked about me behind my back. I feel that's just number one, because a lot of females tend to do that to their so-called friends. Team tagged me with another female for whatever reason, because of jealousy, or whatever, lied. First of all, makeup eats down. That has never changed. Okay. Arguably, it got a little better. Maybe not. I don't know. Now I literally don't put as nearly as much effort as I did when I first started. And as you can see, color contacts, braces, it was a whole vibe. So that hasn't changed. But my God, look at just like you can even hear the way I'm speaking. Like, well, I hope the maturity and everything. I was super young. This was 10 years ago, but yeah, I'm just I have been like through hell and back with female friends, I feel like. And so that has caused me to not be able to have female friends. Like it's actually really bad. And so just a little like brief background on me and the person that I was growing up. Growing up, I was always a shy, quiet girl. I've always been humble despite my accomplishments or my looks or whatever. I never liked conflict. I never was the type of girl who would start drama at all. Like I was always like you're just chill, quiet, nice girl growing up in school. So I would meet people who wanted to be my friend throughout school, and you know I kind of just like went along with it. Like I wasn't an outcast. I didn't want to just place myself in a box and not become friends with anybody throughout school. So I actually branched out a little bit, tried something different, tried to become more social and go to parties and like do all the kind of things that you would do in school with friends and stuff, like, you know, just dumb. But the only problem is the friends that I had, not that like I looked up to them in any kind of way because we were all the same age, but they weren't really like good influences. Like the stuff that I would do with these friends was not positive things. Like I just wanted to tell a little side story real quick because I think that statement right there might have offended some people. Later on in the video, I clearly state like I have some friends, and like for the most part, like if you knew, you knew. But also like there was an undertone of if you even have to like question this, then I'm probably talking about you. My assumption that the people who knew was like wrong. Cause I was talking about like girls or like just friends I had made like in high school. We would go steal alcohol from somewhere or buy alcohol from like a gas station that like didn't even check IDs, and then like in the middle of the day go to the playground at the elementary school and like drink like it was something disgusting, like 99 bananas, and like be making out like in the slide and stuff like I'm talking crazy things. Like I had no business doing these things even as a teenager. I didn't feel the need to get that specific though in the video because again, when you're on the internet, you are putting yourself in front of the eyes of millions of people to judge you. So I wasn't really trying to disclose any of those details because like again, I did a lot of things I wasn't proud of. I guess if I did that, then it would have like avoided some of my friends feeling like I was talking crap about them on the internet. Said all that to say, recently I was hashing it out with one of those friends that I thought I was friends with. And it was like we literally were arguing about something separate. It was something else. And she randomly brought up that video, or she randomly brought up like the fact that like I talked about her on my YouTube channel. And to be honest with you, like that's the only video on my channel that I'm talking about people because I just don't do that sort of thing. I haven't done it since because of all of the backlash. But anyways, she randomly said that and I was just like so confused at first because I'm just like, girl, like you literally thought you were my whole world when we were young. Like you thought I moved away and didn't make new friends. You thought you were my only friend? No, I was not talking about you. Like, my world does not revolve around you, baby girl. I have other things to talk about too. And so I was talking about those people. There's just, in my mind, there's certain people that I was just never I would never even share my relationship with them on the internet, because if you were real one, you were real one. Like, if you my sis, you're my sis, you know? And at my big age, when she brought that up, I said to myself, wow, you've been holding on to this for years. Because again, this video was made back in like 2014, 2015. This little debacle happened 2024. Like, how long have you been waiting to say this to me? How long have you been? Why didn't you even ask? Because if you just like ask me instead of waiting to like pull this out in the middle of an argument, I could have just told you who I was talking about. But you felt convicted. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I just wouldn't recommend getting on the internet, sharing yourself. Because it just comes with a lot, unfortunately. I went through a party phase in high school. I drank in high school, alcohol, of course, not apple juice. I was in a relationship in high school. I would hang out with boys all the time. Like, I would just do things that lacked substance. And in my opinion, some of the things that transpired as a result were negative. Like, they brought negativity to me, if anything. They didn't bring anything good to me, those experiences that I had. Like, I did what I did, and it was just like, it was cool or whatever, but it wasn't really anything that was benefiting me. So in my opinion, that is a fair analysis. Like, I don't feel like I'm being shady or anything. Like, I'm just like being raw about, I'm very introspective as a person. So I'm literally just introspecting about like how I've spent the last 4 years of my life. Like, I'm thinking about high school and like, wow, high school is over. Like, this is what it was to me. This is what I gained, and this is what I'm willing to lose. And this is what I'm walking away with. And this is the person that I'm becoming. And I'm walking into my adulthood as this person with these people in this environment, because this is what I want for myself, Like, I'm having that whole introspection right now in this video, it's absolutely insane. At some point I realized, like, okay, I have these great group of friends. They're so much fun, and we do this and we do that. And yeah, we have our ups and downs, and yeah, she said this about me, but she said sorry, and we're cool now. Like, it's whatever. And so, but at the same time, it's like, it's not whatever, because you have to come to the realization, in which I did, that these things that you're going through that are not benefiting you are directly coming from these people that are influencing you. And so I came to the realization that I had to let go of the people that I was dealing with, because not only were they leading me to end up in like bad situations or just situations that weren't helpful, but they were also not doing anything positive in my life. So I decided to cut them off. So after I graduated high school, I did not have any friends. And so, like, I had friends in my high school that I went to, and I also this focus is bugging me. I didn't have a fancy autofocus DSLR at the time. I think I had like a $200 Nikon that I asked my family for Christmas, and I was just happy that I got a camera. It literally ran off of AA batteries. Also have friends that I knew ever since I was younger, but they didn't go to my school. They went to like another school. I cut everybody off. Like, I had like an enlightenment after I graduated high school. I was like, you know what, girl? You about to graduate high school. You are 18 years old. You are going to make something out of yourself. You have to let go of the people that you have been dealing with, because they are not about anything. They're about the same thing that you've been doing for the past 4 years. It's time to move on. And so sometimes in life, it's okay to let people go, especially when they're, like I said, when they're not doing anything for you. Like, I had to let them go. So after high school, I was a loner. Like, I got a job, went to work. I didn't go straight to college after high school. I decided to just go to work, and I was to myself. I just went to work, made my money, came home, and repeat. I just did that for like a good 2 years. And then I met my current best friend, which happens to be my boyfriend. And honestly, he is like the only to offer, but
Yeah, we're just gonna skip past that part because those are the most capping words that have ever came out of my mouth. I don't even know like how to phrase that, but like whatever the most inaccurate thing you've ever said is, whatever you call that, that's what that was. And we're gonna talk about that another day. That's again another story for another day, but we're just gonna fast forward.
but he also has something to offer me and does not take you for granted. Is not that we weren't dating and he was just my for some reason. Within my 20 years of living on this earth, I have not found anybody who I can say honestly does that. So that's my history with friends. Right now, I'm at a point in my life where I'm mature, so friends don't really mean that much to me. Like, I'm not sitting here crying every night because I don't have friends and I'm so lonely and I don't have a social life. Like, that is not the case. I am a mature adult. I can go out without having a posse behind me. Like, I'm a grown woman, and so I do have like
Grown woman. That's hilarious.
I'm gonna sit here and say I don't have friends now. I do have a couple of friends, but recently it's just like I have been totally reminded why I choose not to have friends in the first place. It is time for me to accept the fact that I just will never be that. Like, there are some girls who can be that, who can be a part of that kind of friendship, but honestly, like, I don't know how girls deal with the drama, the pettiness, the he said, she said, the talk shit behind your back, the fakeness. Like, I don't know how you could deal with it. Seriously. And I'm not sitting here saying that every girl is like that, because I know for a fact that's not the case. Like I said, I have a couple of friends now who I can say are not like that. But it's like for the majority, that's how females are. And it just irritates me because how does that speak for the person that you are? Like, are you successful in other areas of your life conducting that way? Like, are you fake and phony with your coworkers or your employer? Like, do you do that he said, she said in the workplace? Or like,
Yes. Yes.
when you make business deals? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, where does having a personality like that get you? Like, that's my thought process. You don't conduct yourself as a woman being petty and talking crap about other women. I feel like, especially being a woman, you should want to build up other women and support other women and just think about the things that you do and how they speak for your character. But that's just my opinion. I know not everybody is going to agree with that, but it's so funny because it seems like the people that I click with the most are actually older than me, like in their like mid to high 20s. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just too mature for these. I don't know. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. So that was my little rant on having friends and what I think a friend should be and what I think a friend should not be. If you agree, let me know in the comments down below and let me know, like, what do you think a good friend is and what has your experience been with friends throughout your life?
So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna give a quick disclaimer just to clean this up really quick. I am nowhere nearly as cutthroat as I was when I was a young sprout. I have a lot more grace now. I have a lot more compassion, a lot more tolerance for BS. And I pray to God every day for more and more patience. I am not perfect. However, I have come a long way. So watching that video just kind of like reminded me of just how blunt I was as a youngin, and honestly just how inexperienced, because like I want to say, like, for the most part relationships don't work that way. You know, you can't just cut people off. That's what I would say to my younger self. You can't just cut people off, Savannah. But then also at the same time, there's a strong part of me that says, yes, you can. You have to give grace, right? And you give people opportunities to show themselves. And once they prove to be genuinely not good for you, not good to you, then you just gotta, as I said in the video, cut them off. So there's some stuff in there that I kind of still abide by. It's just a lot more, I have a lot more of a like grown approach to it. The idea is the same. I can genuinely say everyone who is in my circle now genuinely cares about me. And that will age well. I won't be watching this video 10 years from now saying, "Oh, man, I was so wrong." Like, no. Because I've been so intentional about that since making that video. Yeah, like, you know, separating from some of the relationships that I had at that time, it was really hard for me. Don't get me wrong. It was really hard, but also at the same time, there was a really big calling spiritually on my life that I felt that he was trying to take me somewhere else, and he did. I'm not even gonna get too crazy into the God stuff. God be Godding, and that is all, period. 81,731 views. No friends equals no drama. Agreed. I disagree. You just need to make the right friends. Like, having the right set of friends literally shifts your human experience so much, literally. So I actually disagree with that, but apparently a lot of people agreed. I agree, when you're attractive, keep your appearance up. Self-sufficient, hardworking people don't want to be bothered with you. Men even get jealous of, and this is true. And I do believe that there was some of this that I was experiencing for sure. For sure. Girl, I feel you. It sounds weird to say. I chose not to have friends, but for me, it's more about loving some people from afar, leaving the backstabbing and talking unhealthy competitiveness behind me. I've been much happier ever since. That I relate to now more so. Loving people from afar, which is something that I definitely have learned to do. But then also, when people don't really genuinely vibe with you like that, once you decide to love them from afar, they slowly start to drift farther and farther and farther. The texts become less, the phone calls become less, the interaction dissipates. And so you don't even have to cut people off anymore because it just does it itself. So that, shout out to maturity, because that was a lesson that I had to learn, but it works. I've noticed it's mainly females who make these no friends videos. Just confirms to me that women don't get along at all. And I've noticed this all my life, yet people look at me funnily for not having female friends. You have a good head on your shoulders, and it's good that you learned this at a very young age. Keep doing you. Okay. A lot of comments showing love on this video, and I was just like so taken back by how many people could relate to me simply just venting about where I was at. And then it clicked. I was like, holy mackerel, this is it. I found a cheat code. This is the science to being on the internet and gaining a following. When I tell you, I literally only have 2,000 subs. When I tell you all those subs came from this video, I cannot make it up. I feel like I kind of got like scared once I saw like all of this input just from me just sharing. Like, I'm just sharing like it's my diary. And I got so intimidated, and I never really made a video that transparent ever since. The end. But I did grow to love the internet from it. I can't lie. There was something that was so attractive to me about being able to reach people anywhere without limitation, and also like be yourself and do something that you love to do. I thought it was so fascinating. So shout out to this I have no friends video, because without this video, honestly, I
probably wouldn't even be here, to be honest. We're gonna react to another one of my videos. Where do I want to take y'all? I mean, there's like so much cringe here. Like it's like a lot. We can go to Hurt Bay when that was like a whole era. We can go to we got eyebrow tutorials, makeup tutorials. We have I have a video that's called Daddy Issues. My God. If I'm being honest, that was the video that scared me from the internet. So we're not going to watch this video because I have no idea what I was even thinking when I posted this. I would like to go read the comments though, for sure. I'd love to talk to you about those issues you are going through. I will help you. Let me know if you want to, feel free. And that was a year ago. Girls with daddy issues seem to not like guys who were raised by good parents. God bless you. Please know that you are a very brave young lady. I'm sorry to say, but this generation is doomed. Whatever that means. Like, just judgment. You strike me as a very smart girl. I think you're going to be okay. Okay. Someone said my father was never a father. Like, if you understand, they were just trying to get some clout. I mean, I get it. Like, you know, I'm aware now that there's people who have had their biological fathers in their lives, but still didn't experience the like stereotypical father experience. It's a thing. But also, like, you can relate to what I'm saying in the video if that's the case. Like, whether he's present or not, I don't really think that wasn't where I was coming from. Or maybe it was. I don't know. Wow, this video was so real. I can relate to some of the things you went through, even though my father was in my life. He was always never really present emotionally. Okay. And he wasn't as supportive. The first time I met him was when I was 5 years old because he was living in another country and moved back home to be with me and my mom. But when I was 5, I always heard so many stories about my father. I was so excited to meet him and thought we would be super close. But when I met him, he was nice. But when I met him, he was nice, but was so closed off emotionally. He never told me stories of his teen years or when he was growing up. He was just there. After my parents got divorced, he turned bitter, and we had a year where we didn't talk and even become physically abusive towards me when I didn't want to see him. But I moved on now and trying my best to be a good daughter to him and win him over with love. But I can relate it when you say you don't know how to talk to man. I always feel awkward around man and feel scared to trust and be vulnerable. I'm working on myself. Hopefully I can learn to overcome this issue. People trying to guess where I live. Like, why is this a thing? I even got this one comment that disturbed me so much. I will never forget it ever in my entire life. I mean, I'm lying because I kind of low-key forgot what it said verbatim, but I know it was something to the extent of, you don't know the full story. Your mother was probably like this, and basically DDG and Hallie. I didn't want to be that person to, try to capitalize off of somebody else's drama, but legit, like, allegedly her keeping Halo away type situation and not really being able to co-parent smoothly with DDG and kind of like kicking him out or just being very kind of like, this is my kid and you're not gonna see him if I don't say it's okay, that type of thing. Like, this comment was like telling me this, and there's not a problem with it. I think, like I said a million times, I was just very young and just unprepared. That wasn't an idea that I had considered. It's not like I villainized my biological father and just looked at him like, why aren't you here? Like, you're a deadbeat. Like, I never villainized him, but also at the same time, I never glorified my mother for taking care of me. I know people are not perfect and I know life happens. So I kind of just like left a lot of room for whatever the case was to be. That's just not something you say to somebody. Like, you don't want somebody to have to view their main parent in a certain light that has to do with like childhood trauma, like, you know, psychologically thinking like you are not loved, like you are not enough, like something is wrong with you, like you are not worthy. Like, you just don't say things like that on the internet. But I was sadly mistaken. And then there's this period in my life where I was like super motivated and just very inspirational and like positive. Let's look at this. This is a good one. I called it reclaiming your peace. So essentially this was the calm after the storm. Welcome back to my channel. She's a redhead and she has bangs. So just like carefree and so accepting. It's like a liberating feeling, honestly, for you. And you know, people like that you just have to pray for. And I'm not even saying that to be like petty or vindictive or anything like that. I'm like being so sincere. Those are the people that are going through so much internally that they're not even happy with themselves. So they do everything in their power to kind of, and I believe it's a subconscious thing. I don't even believe that they're consciously doing this, but they do everything in their power to try to rob other people of their happiness and their liberation because they're not liberated themselves. And you know, I have such a big heart. I have so much compassion for the world despite all of its cruelty and everything like that. I have so much empathy for people and everything that they're going through. So, you know, even if somebody has done something foul to me, I still feel for that person at the end of the day. And I just understand, like, I just know you're clearly going through something right now. It is never okay. One, it is never going to make you better or make you feel justified or let you get even if you react to situations like that. I'll tell you that right now. Even though you may feel like you got even with that person, or you did what you felt like was necessary in order to kind of just like even things out a little bit so you don't feel as played, that's still something that's gonna be on your heart at the end of the day, versus you just letting it go. It sounds like a crazy concept to grasp because sometimes we get so caught up in our emotions and the way that what this person did makes us feel that we can't see anything else but to get even. If you constantly are thinking about the person that you're trying to be and the places that you want to go, you'll understand that it does not benefit you. What benefits you is seeing what that person has done to you, recognizing that that person clearly does not value you, and removing that person or adjusting their position in your life and moving forward, doing what you have to do at the end of the day. Trying to share the lessons as I go, you know? That was that era. I feel like I took a big break after that. I started giving people advice, still sharing my pain, and then I tried a thing where I was just like, let me just be myself instead of trying to pour something into people. Let me just go back to just being myself, except now I'm in like this much happier, peaceful, positive state. So then I just started having fun. Leigh, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This was during COVID, by the way. Like, just being silly. Corvette. Myself and just eat some food. I'll be back. Can we just talk about storage real quick? Oh. So whatever you're thinking right now, just stop thinking it. And then this color is mad cute. It's like preserving my hair in my bonnet. Wow, this, you know, just genuine and innocent content. I even had an Omegle phase. It's Savannah Leigh. I'm back again. Are you surprised? I am, because, you know, normally stop laughing at me. Because normally I ghost you guys, but listen, I have a question.
What up?
Is the plural form of the word or
Whoa.
are you sure? Because it's like fishes. Fish. You know. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Long story short, I was having fun, you guys. I was pretending to be like Burr.
I just want you to put your pants on.
No, I don't want to see your.
Yo. What?
The internet can be such a dirty place. Like, wow.
One eternity later.
This is also when I started to get like really creative with the edits and just having fun, as you can see. So I like made like this little music video within the video. Said my name is Sab. I like to play. I like to play all day, every day. Hey, 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 you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is rap. This is trash. I don't rap. I just cap. Hey. Okay, that's it. And I had my man's week. Look at this. He was like, what? What is happening right?
Hello.
How are you?
I started making higher quality, better vlogs. Exhibit A. I have a couple of queens. Looking rough. That is the key to health. Vitamins. I'm talking.
Say hi, Shadow.
Oh, look at Shadow. He's so cute. And that's kind of where we left off, you guys. Like, I think I made like one or two other ones after that. I was just over it. I was just like, yeah, I'm good on this. Like, I'm just off it, you know? You ever get like off something, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And yet here I am. So I'm here, but I'm doing it different this time, and I'm really excited because, you know, the output has always been problematic. Just to be honest, like, it's just very tedious, time consuming. You put so much into it. Sometimes you get nothing back. And sometimes it's okay that you get nothing back, because having a relationship with the internet is a very non-reciprocal one at times. And that just comes with the territory, and it's okay. Also, sometimes you want it to be gratifying. And so I think I'm just at a phase in my life where I want it to be gratifying, but in a way where I feel satisfied. So yeah, shout out to live streaming. It has restarted my engine in a sense. I've been having so much fun just making these thumbnails. Look at these thumbnails. I snapped. I freaking snapped on these thumbnails. And it was so much fun. And I loved it. I just sat here for like 3 hours and just talked, which I can do because I know how to do that. I watched something and then I was able to like make content. And you know, the views are small, but it's not about that. Because I've been doing this so long in so many facets, I understand that usually the gratification comes like through consistency and time. As long as I love it, that's my main priority. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm sure naturally over time, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. Like if I'm meant to pour into people, it's going to pour into somebody. If I'm meant to entertain people, it's gonna entertain people. If I'm meant to just express myself, that's going to happen regardless. I'm just not forcing it, and I love it. I love that for me. I do want to show you guys one other aspect of my content creator journey, which is collabs. Collabing is not something that I love to do because, I don't know, it just depends. Like, you have to be equally yoked. You have to care about what they're talking about, what their why is. Like, you have to care about it. And sometimes when you don't care about it, it just doesn't really, it doesn't come across genuine, I will say. So, for example, I think it was like last year, maybe the year before that, I went on a podcast. It's like the hosts are all guys. It's like 3 guys. They don't usually do couple content, but I went on there as a couple because I just so happened to be doing a live music event at the time with my now fiance, and I wanted to promote that event. Long story short, I literally forgot to promote the event, the whole podcast, but it turned into a couples pod for some reason, and they were just asking us like basic questions, and I was just giving like basic answers. But typically they talk about like hot boy and hot girl stuff. I don't care for that. Like at the time, I just didn't care for that type of content. That's the only circumstance that I don't agree with collaborations. You just have to make sure you care about the things that they care about. But I did go on this cool podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy G-Anime, and welcome to the Absorb and Apply podcast. Today, we cracked down an urban legend, y'all. We found her. She's gone idle. You know, back in the AIM days where people's things would be like online or away, bro, hers is probably just always away, constantly, or invisible. But she's a real person, y'all. I really thought this was like a catfish, but I'm glad that she made it all the way out on the podcast. This is our first face-to-face conversation, and no pressure that's being recorded live. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Savannah Leigh.
Hi guys, it's me in the flesh. Thank you for that intro.
How are you, Sav?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. You know, gotta come out of hiding every once in a while. So yeah.
Was it a tough decision to be out here?
It was like I really just wanted to just like stay inside, like, but I was fighting with myself, and I was like, yeah, I just gotta step out real quick, hop on this podcast.
Well, so what's your Friday usually like? What you did today before the podcast?
So today I was just home chilling. I slept in because I don't get to do that often. I had like a meeting to talk about some friend group issues, which was very draining for me. Then after that, I just got ready to head over here, and now I'm here and I'm excited.
Why is a consistent theme that I'm constantly having issues with friends and relationships? Like, why is this a thing? I legit remember that phone call that I was talking about. Again, another story, another time. But long story short, I tried to have friends again. Like, I tried to like cultivate my own friend group, and it was going great, but then something happened, and we were just like, we had a meeting to like talk about it. The aftermath of that is I'm friends with none of them now. Like, it's just terrible. Like, it's really terrible. I need a therapist to come on to the Twitch one day so that we can unpack this.
What does a typical week for Savannah look like? What does she do for work?
So for work, I produce, direct, edit content for an organization called CCC. And they're basically a church in New York City. They're like a mega church. So it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes on a weekly basis that I'm kind of just like, I'm in the mix. So from like Monday to like Thursday, well, since quarantine, I'm literally just working from home, editing. Well, we film all day on Mondays. So then after that, the rest of the week just looks like me editing all day, every day. And, you know, it's fun. I like it. I can't complain. I'm passionate about it. So it's cool.
Have you always enjoyed video? Was it something that in high school that you recognized, or was it something after high school that you realized you wanted to get into video editing stuff?
It wasn't something that I realized until after high school,
Yeah.
because after high school is when I started a YouTube channel one day. And I was just like, all right, now I gotta learn how to edit. So I kind of just started with iMovie, taught myself some cool tricks on that. And from there, just, you know, I just started teaching myself more and more. So it's something that I do love because I appreciate the process of like putting together a video from start to finish. However, editing is not my most favorite part because, as I'm sure you know, it's like so tedious and time consuming, and then you got the renders and you got the exports, and it's even more time. So, I mean, but it's cool though. I like it.
So I never met. Am I lying? No, I'm not lying. All right, I had to make sure I was like not capping, but I've never met. So I know there is, but I've never met personally somebody that's a female and does video editing. I've heard you in one of your live sessions talking about how, because I do also think it's a male dominated industry. Do you want to speak more on the importance, or do you feel like there's a huge value or opportunity for women to get in this type of space of video editing?
Yes. So I basically went to a conference in Chicago for like church media people.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole market. And it was, I forget the percentage or the ratio, but like it was majority men there. And like the amount of women that were there were like, it was like this compared to like this. So that just really put into perspective for me like how much of a male dominated industry it really is. And then like even back to like, you know, where I work, I work with a bunch of guys, and it's cool, but also it's like it's hard being in any industry where there's not enough female representation, because I do believe at the end of the day we tend to bring in some type of balance in the atmosphere, even when it comes down to creativity. Like we just have a certain touch. So I do think that it's very important for women to be involved in media because representation, like I said, we really got to represent for the women out there, so we could speak to social certain social topics that are relevant to us, and just, you know, make sure our presence is felt and known.
Yeah, I think that's really important, just because with video editing, I also think in music production, it's not a woman dominated force. And even with women, we can even get more specific. I don't even think there's no black women in this industry. That's why I love what Teyana Taylor's doing. I don't know if you're aware that she's producing all of her music videos.
Oh wow.
I really think that's really dope, with women being creative driven, because you can't just picture a woman holding these huge heavy rigs or directing, being vocal. But so if that's what your typical work week looked like before COVID, and you are known for going into hiding, are you loving working from home or not?
Absolutely. Like honestly, when I got the news that we could work from home, I was ecstatic, but it was bittersweet for me because unfortunately I did get sick. I do believe it was the virus. However, I didn't go to get tested to confirm it, but I was getting all of the symptoms and things like that, and I had been in contact with people who had it, so I was just like, yo, it's it for me. But so
You
that
just gave up just like that. Done.
I'm done. That's it, God, take me now. But no, so it really gave me the opportunity to focus on my health and really get back up, because, you know, working and just dealing with the day to day, like when you're always constantly on the grind, you tend to neglect your health. So I was able to stay home, drink my teas, take my vitamins, make sure I'm eating right, at the same time as maintaining my work. And that's all that I personally could ever ask for because I'm such an introvert. But yeah, it's definitely been cool.
Do you live on your own or you live with family?
I live on my own.
Is it easy for you to be alone? Because I know there's a difference, and some people don't know the difference between being alone and feeling lonely.
Yes.
So do you feel lonely, or you're comfortable with being by yourself?
So for me, this is the first time in my life that I have been alone, because I have lived with family and friends for most of my life, and it's only been about 3 or 4 months that I've been on my own. So I think I'm really just basking in being alone for the first time, and I'm really enjoying the process of adulting and figuring things out on my own and not necessarily relying on other people for help. Still acknowledging that, you know, help is cool when needed, but I got this. And there have been times of loneliness, especially since I'm, you know, in this season of singleness.
But you're choosing to be.
You can tell I'm nervous.
But
Don't laugh at me.
but you're choosing to be. Like, some people feel like it's some people look at singleness as a problem, like, or like something to avoid. Like, I will rather die than to be single type of.
Are you okay?
Bro, all right. So, like, because, for example, Tyler finds it weird that, like, I will go to the movies by myself. I could go to Denny's by myself, like a restaurant, like literally not take out, like sit in a restaurant or stuff by myself. So I think there's nothing wrong with, I don't know, choosing to be single, especially like you said, especially with being on the grind.
Yeah.
You're ignoring a lot of yourself, ignoring a lot of your health. But is the frequent hiding by choice, like dodging, like you know how some people you can't you know how some people you can't find them because they're always over the place, but like, nah, I feel like it's one of those things, like, today I'm off the radar. It's not accident.
Stop.
These are my days that you will not find me, even if you wanted to.
That is hilarious. Yo, wait, so what's the question?
Is the hiding intentional, or is it just, because it could also just be that's just the way of life?
It just happens. Like, it's so funny because I recently got into like this whole thing with my friend group because I fell off of the map for a week straight. And everybody was like, yo, are you good? And I'm just like, I'm hiding right now, but I'll come out when I'm ready. Like, don't worry, I'm good. It's not on purpose. Like, I fully acknowledge, especially with the people that I care about and that care about me, like, they want to hear from me. They want to make sure I'm good. So it's not that I intend to like go ghost on them. It's more so just like, I feel like I give out so much energy to a lot of different things where I have to implement time to pour back into myself. And sometimes that does look like cutting myself off from social media, sometimes my friends and my family, sometimes my work. You know, it extends to every aspect. And I think a lot of people don't see or realize that. So it's definitely not intentional. It's just more so necessary.
Would you say that you go into hiding, is it like would you compare it to like hibernating? Like, you go a season of just dodging everybody, dodging texts, leaving people on red, to coming back, and then now all of a sudden, like, I don't know, maybe after this podcast, you're just everywhere now. You just popping up, you just all over the radar. So what do you think?
I don't know. I think it's like a combination of both. I think that in terms of hibernation, purpose-wise, it definitely is a time for me to kind of gather all of my acorns and like make sure.
She's coming out with metaphors now. I didn't know she was about to do that.
Make sure I'm good for the winter. Like, make sure I have what I need to sustain myself. And then once I'm good, I pop back out and, I'll do stuff like this and I just get into like a flow. And so I have a momentum from here now and I might pop on this person's podcast or I
She
might
said do stuff like this. Like she's on a run. That's why I got her out. She got one later right after this.
I wish, but no, seriously, like it happens that way for whatever reason. Like photo shoot here, podcast here. Yeah.
So, well, you don't even need to be on my podcast because, as you mentioned before, you have a YouTube channel that you don't have to wait to be invited to share your message. What's going on with your YouTube? You mentioned it before.
Yes.
What's going on?
I did. So I started my channel at a time in my life where I was really like emotionally pent up, and I found out basically that wow, I'm a creative person, so all I have to do is just like do as many creative outlets as possible and just let out everything I'm going through, and then I feel better. And it also is pretty cool because it helps other people too, because what I have to talk about apparently is relatable. So it kind of just it took a life of its own. Like I just made this one video about not having friends. Every introvert's
We're not
story.
laughing at those who don't have friends. It's just laughing in pain because we relate to that message. So yes. I feel that.
And that video took off. It got like 70,000 views, and I was like super shocked, especially since I just started my channel. I didn't have the most elite gear or production quality at all. And then from there, my channel just became about me talking about my personal experiences, and relationships and just life in general, giving people advice. And so naturally, because it became about my life and my experiences, unfortunately, when I was going through things, my channel did go through a drought at times, and then I would pop back up like I'm good again, guys. So yeah,
let me give y'all this 3-month recap of what's been going on. I hear what Gary.
It really be like that though, and I think I finally got to the point within myself where I was just so fed up with me. I was like, I'm not gonna keep lying to these people. Like, I'm gonna be consistent. Like, my life is so tumultuous right now. I can't do this. Like, I can't. There's no way I can be consistent right now. Remember when I was telling you guys I took that long break? That's what I was talking about. That was it for me. I was just like, all right. Like, all right.
Gary Vee mentions documenting over creating. So like I had that issue with trying to decipher what's meant for private and what's meant to be put out. So I don't know, I feel like you should record those tough times. Obviously probably not put it out, but like, I don't know, look back for yourself, just for you to reflect on it.
Yes, I agree 100%. I actually just started doing that. Like when I'm going through some really real, I will be crying and I'll just record it just for the sake of looking back and like remembering like where I was at that point, and just use it as motivation to not allow myself to get here, and also not allow myself to silence myself when I am here.
Do you feel there's no attraction to just come from hiding just because you may offend somebody?
I mean, coming from a different perspective, I feel the complete opposite. I feel like now is the time to speak up more than ever because people are starting to listen. It's one thing where you're trying to talk to people about, just raising awareness, and people are closed off mentally to the idea. So now that certain things are being exposed through the realm of social media, now people are becoming educated and aware now, and now people actually want to be a part of the conversation. I feel like now you have to say something. Like it's almost like you have no choice, because staying silent is like you're the opposer essentially. And so just because there is so much power in that. So now I'm finding myself plotting on different ways. That's why I love the fact that you invited me to this podcast to create the conversation. What does the conversation look like now? Because it's no longer, oh, Black people are getting killed. Oh, police brutality. Oh, social injustice. It doesn't stop there. Now it's, what are we as a people going to do about it? We seriously need to come together, like for real. And
you have to, because you have to emphasis for real, because we be fake collabing.
We do, and then we forget about each other the next day. It's just like, no, we really need to cultivate what true community looks like amongst our people, and actually like make that go a long way, so that the conversation doesn't die, and so that we do get certain reforms and things that should have been happening years ago. But so yeah, that's my
Ooh,
goal on that.
I felt a little raise there years ago. So I think that was a perfect segue to this story you deleted about you. You was a savage, the savage.
This is where my nickname comes from. And when I tell you, it's not even like I go around telling people like, hey, call me savage. No. This nickname literally coined itself. The way I do things or the way that I say things, people just like label me as a savage, and I'm just like, all right, I can't escape it. So I've learned to kind of like accept it as like a term of endearment a little bit. So yeah, savage is my nickname. Fun fact.
I'm guessing you was receiving a lot of DMs about current events and dead bodies, and nobody wants to see any of that stuff. I don't know if you were aware of Joseph Solomon. He's a poet, and he mentioned that he hasn't seen the video of black people dying just because it seems as if it's murder porn and another language for it. People are just uncomfortable. Like, why are you just watching it over and over again? Like, it seems it's more so just to spread it, because there's a difference between awareness and just like, I feel like the message of you sending these clips isn't to make awareness, because like you said,
We know.
been on this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's tough. That's really tough. So
I mean, just to add to that, so I was at a Juneteenth celebration in Harlem, at Marcus Garvey Park, and it was a silent protest essentially, where different speakers were coming up, and a mother who had experienced police brutality with her own son, I believe. She basically made a statement that really stuck with me. She said, they're killing us, but we don't need to let them kill our minds too. Basically thrown into the whole social media thing of just circulating these, children of like, these parents are losing their children to these types of situations. I think people don't attach that to it when they're circulating all of this stuff. Like, this is somebody's son, and you're just constantly just sharing this over and over again for what?
It's tea. That was essentially a little bit of my digital footprint. Hopefully you guys have like a better kind of like grasp on who I am as a creative. There is more stuff out there that we're just not gonna get into today because I don't really feel like it's necessary. I just wanted to react to, or not even react, but I just wanted to show you guys like a little bit about me and what I've created so far. And this content's gonna be so different because it's gonna be entertaining. It's just gonna be me being silly, me being myself. I'm not gonna really share any like hardships unless I feel led to. It's gonna be pretty lighthearted. So I'm here for that.